The WEC and IMSA are of course fantastic series, but they aren't the only endurance racing based motorsports out there. One of these other endurance championships is ELMS, otherwise known as the European Le Mans Series. And their upcoming season is expected to be spectacular, and in this video, I'll preview everything you need to know about ELMS and the upcoming 2024 season. The European Le Mans Series is an endurance racing championship for prototypes and GT race cars to compete in European events only. So that means this series will not be racing in countries such as Japan and the United States, for example. And to be clear, even though ELMS has similarities, it is not the same championship as the WEC. One is a world championship and the other is only based in Europe. To understand the current European Le Mans Series, we need to take a look at its history, because this is a championship that wasn't recently introduced. This ELMS championship was established in 2004 as the Le Mans Endurance Series. The hope, of course, was to have a successful endurance racing championship for European races, and besides the 24 Hours of Le Mans, we hadn't seen a series like this since the World Sports Car Championship went defunct in 1992. There was also an interest in getting a European version of the successful American Le Mans Series, which was started by Don Panos all the way back in 1998. In fact, before the WEC was introduced in 2012, ELMS was the home for LMP1 cars to battle for the overall championship in the European races. And many successful LMP1 cars took championships here, such as the Audi R10 TDI, the Peugeot 908 HDI FAP, and the Pescarolo 01. However, even though it was a pretty successful time with the LMP1 cars, they were taken out of the championship after 2011 when the WEC was introduced in 2012. Nowadays, the cars that race in ELMS are of course very different from when the series was established in 2004. And despite the World Endurance Championship taking priority, ELMS has still provided some excellent competition over the years, and it's definitely a championship to keep an eye on in 2024 and beyond. For the upcoming 2024 season of the European Le Mans Series, there will be three kinds of cars competing. In the series, there's the LMP2 cars, which are the fastest out of the three, then the LMP3 cars, and finally, the GT3 cars. These three kinds of cars are separated into four different categories in ELMS. There's LMP2, which are highlighted by the blue number panels. Then there's LMP2 Pro-Am, which are highlighted by the light blue number panels. Then there's LMP3, which are highlighted with the purple number panels. And finally, there's LMGT3, which is new for this year, which are highlighted with the orange number panels. Each LMP2 entry will be using the car known as the Oreca 07, where in LMP3, two kinds of cars will be used, the Duqueine M30 D08 and the Ligier JSP 320. Whereas the entries in LMGT3 will be using cars from a variety of manufacturers, such as Porsche and Ferrari, for example. And as I explained earlier, since the introduction of the World Endurance Championship, top-level prototypes are not involved in ELMS. So that means the LMH and LMDH cars that compete in the Hypercar and IMSA's GTP category are not racing in the European Le Mans Series. Now, another important factor to know about ELMS is that if you win the championship in your category, getting a trophy and a bunch of money isn't the only thing you win. This is because each category's team's champions will receive an automatic invitation for the following 24 Hours of Le Mans. For example, whichever team wins the 2024 championship in the LMP2 category will likely be at the 2025 edition of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And ELMS is not the only championship that does this. Another regional championship, Asian Le Mans Series, does the same system. It's also worth pointing out that because the WEC removed the LMP2 class to make way for Hypercar and LMGT3, the only LMP2 racing in Europe is going to be in ELMS. This essentially means that there will be a lot of focus on LMP2 this year, more so than beforehand, considering that the majority of LMP2 teams are only racing in the European Le Mans Series and maybe the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. There's also a lot of hype around the LMGT3 class, as it's a brand new category in ELMS, with every single GT car participating this season brand new to the championship. There's also a new manufacturer in the championship in the form of Lamborghini. They are bringing the Huracan GT3 Evo with Iron Lynx running the number 63 car across the full season. As for the 2024 entry list, there will be 14 cars total in the LMP2 class, 8 in the Pro-Am LMP2 class, there will be 10 cars in the LMP3 class, and finally 11 cars will be in the LMGT3 class. All these entries make up a total of 43 cars for the full season in 2024. Besides the categories and the cars competing in them, the actual championship itself operates very similar to the World Endurance Championship. The weekend format follows a very similar system from practice to qualifying then the race, with each category getting its own qualifying session like the WEC. Although the length of the races are shorter in ELMS compared to the WEC. All World Endurance Championship races are 6 hours long, except the events in Bahrain and Qatar, and of course the 24 hours of Le Mans. But in ELMS, every single race will be 4 hours long. Speaking of the races, let's take a look at the European Le Mans Series calendar for 2024. The season will begin with the 4 hours of Barcelona on April 14th at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalonia in Spain. Round 2 will be the 4 hours of Le Castellet on May 5th. That will be at the Paul Ricard Circuit in southern France. The next 2 events will be at tracks of the WEC visit in 2024. Round 3 will be the 4 hours of Imola, taking place on July 7th at the Imola Circuit in Italy, where the next round will be at the legendary Spa-Francorchamps Circuit in Belgium for the 4 hours of Spa on August 25th. The next round takes ELMS back to Italy for the 4 hours of Mugello, taking place at the Mugello Circuit on September 29th. Finally, the season will conclude with round 6, the 4 hours of Portimao on October 19th, taking place at the Algarve International Circuit in Portugal. So from what I told you, the upcoming 2024 season seems pretty entertaining, right? But you might be wondering, how is someone supposed to watch European Le Mans Series events in 2024? Well, to be honest, the organizers do a pretty good job to make it simple for you to watch. Each event will be live streamed on the official ELMS YouTube channel. That YouTube channel is linked in this video's description down below, and that is where you can watch these events in 2024. So what do you think about the European Le Mans Series? Is it an interesting championship to you? And are you excited for this upcoming 2024 season? Well, as always, I'd like to hear your thoughts down in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, I suggest subscribing. The reason why is because I make endurance racing content mainly on WEC and IMSA every week. And if you want to watch more videos, there's options on your screen. But for now, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one.